Wagyu beef's sweet, savory flavor melts in your mouth like no other. With its exquisite marbling and tender texture, every bite of this famous Japanese beef delivers a remarkable experience. But such luxury comes at a hefty price. In this video, we'll explore what makes Wagyu the most prized beef in the world. We'll look at the genetics, feeding, and care that go into producing this incredibly rich, decadent meat. So sit back and discover why devotees consider Wagyu beef to be as precious as gold. While Wagyu beef today is prized for its rich flavor and melt-in-your-mouth tenderness, these cows originally served a different purpose in Japan. For centuries, Wagyu were not raised for their meat but as beasts of burden. Dating back to around 200 AD, when they were first introduced to Japan from China, Wagyu cattle were employed for various labor-intensive tasks. They plowed fields, transported lumber, and even carried nobles in carts across the Japanese countryside. Their robust muscles and remarkable endurance made them perfect for such roles. Unlike the uniformly sleek black cattle we associate with premium Wagyu today, these early cattle displayed a variety of colors and sported large horns. Interestingly, the consumption of four-legged animals was prohibited in Japan for over 1,000 years, influenced by Buddhist doctrines that discouraged eating meat. The idea of consuming beef was, for the longest time, inconceivable. However, this changed dramatically in 1872, when the emperor himself openly consumed Wagyu beef to ring in the new year, challenging centuries of tradition. This act was so controversial that it led to a dramatic episode where 10 monks infiltrated the palace to beseech the emperor to reconsider, citing the potential moral decline of Japanese society. Tragically, 4 of these monks paid with their lives for their defiant stand. While the emperor's feast was suppressed in the press, Pandora's box was open. A new beef-eating culture had arrived. Wagyu were now valued not for labor but for their meat. Breeding programs emerged to selectively produce cows with more fat marbling. Feeding practices were also fine-tuned to ensure the meat was as tender as possible, leading to the disappearance of the once characteristic horns and rugged appearance of the working Wagyu. After Japan opened to Western cuisine in the late 1800s, Japanese farmers began aggressively crossbreeding their native cattle with imported breeds like Brown Swiss and Simmental. This effort was aimed at increasing the marbling within the meat, which is known to enrich its flavor. By 1919, after decades of crossbreeding, 4 distinct hybrid cattle emerged as the forebears of today's Wagyu. This include the Rouge Washu, or Black Wagyu, which is celebrated for its exceptional marbling and accounts for 90% of Wagyu cattle today. The Akaj Washu, or Brown Wagyu, is predominantly found in southern Kyushu. The Mukaku Washu, or Polled Wagyu, which is hornless, hails from northern Tohoku. Lastly, the Nihon Tankahu Washu, or Short-horned Wagyu, resulted from crosses with European Shorthorns, contributing to the rich diversity within the Wagyu breed. Wagyu made its way to America in the 1970s thanks to Morris Whitney, a cattle researcher who brought over 4 live bulls. In the absence of female Wagyu in the States, these bulls were crossbred with Texas Longhorns, Angus, and dairy cows, making the beginning of an American-style Wagyu. The 1997 Japanese ban on Wagyu exports aimed to preserve this national treasure, but by then the blending of Japanese genetics with American breeds was well underway. Each Wagyu breed presents its own unique characteristics in terms of color, marbling, texture, and flavor. For example, the Rouge breed is known for its highly marbled beef, offering a sweet and nutty flavor that's unparalleled. The Akaj, on the other hand, is leaner, with a fine and tight grain. The Mukaku, rare and hornless, is celebrated for its exceptionally tender and buttery meat. Of the 4 Wagyu breeds, the rarest is Mukaku. Found mainly in northern Tohoku, these cows lack horns and produce exceptionally tender meat with subtle flavor. Mukaku's fine marbling and small population make it truly exclusive. The Nihon Tankaku, adapted to the snowy northern climate with its short horns and compact body, produces meat that's rich and persimmon-hued. Southern Kyushu is home to Akaj. This leaner brown-toned Wagyu has meat with a tight, fine grain. Its healthy characteristics and mellow flavor profile give Akaj an avid fan base. Yet it's the Karaoke Wagyu that's most coveted for its lavish marbling. This breed's meat is characterized by a rich, sweet nuttiness, a testament to the extensive care these cattle receive to develop such exceptional marbling. How are Wagyu cattle raised? In Japan, Wagyu cattle live indoors, protected from stress and injury. Each animal's hand-fed a precise diet to encourage fat rather than muscle. The calves stay with their mothers, dining on greens, hay, silage, and beer byproducts for flavor. Immaculate barns allow clean living to prevent disease. Some farmers even massage their cattle daily. This meticulous attention to their well-being extends all the way to market. Wagyu are transported locally to keep stress levels low. At the slaughterhouse, skilled techniques are employed to ensure the meat maintains its distinctive marbling. A process of quick chilling followed by aging perfects the Wagyu's signature buttery texture. From their first breath to their last, Wagyu cattle are given a level of care that's rare in the animal husbandry world. Their treatment reflects the respect Japanese farmers have for these magnificent animals. Taste alone doesn't justify Wagyu's exorbitant price. It is also the heritage, care, and craft behind the beef. No wonder connoisseurs call Wagyu the pinnacle of the butcher's art. The special treatment of Wagyu cattle starts from a very young age. By 2 to 3 months, calves are introduced to a special diet called creep feeding that's designed to kickstart the development of their signature marbling. Between August and October, another indulgence is added: beer and sake. The heat causes Wagyu to lose their appetite, so brewers' grains provide calories plus entice eating. Each calf might get 1 bottle daily until appetites recover. Once they reach 8 to 10 months, the Wagyu calves are weaned and then sold at individual auctions to either fattening or breeding farms. The auction prices for Wagyu calves far surpass those of common breeds like Angus, reflecting their esteemed status from an early age. It's at the fattening farms where the transformation into premium Wagyu beef truly begins, thanks to carefully designed feeding programs. Fattening farms are like bovine spas. Wagyu spend leisurely days grazing in spacious pens, low-stress living that prevents tough muscle growth. Their diet is calculated to layer fine marbling without flattening. High-energy feeds like corn, barley, or wheat bran blend with roughage like rice straw. Some farms even play classical music to soothe the cattle further. Massages distribute fat evenly and keep the cows relaxed. Farm workers brush the cattle daily to mimic social grooming. The goal is harmonious animals yielding beautiful marbled beef. Wagyu remain on fattening farms to age from 2 to 3 years until reaching about 1,500 pounds, the prime point for best flavor and tenderness. Such individualized attention makes Wagyu beef exceptionally succulent. Each slice reveals a delicate network of fat that envelops the meat in unmatched silkiness, ensuring that every bite is infused with a depth of flavor that surpasses that of standard beef. Much like the great wine, the terroir and care involved in raising Wagyu cattle directly influence each morsel's taste and texture. Wagyu is fed with tremendous care during the fattening stage to achieve perfect marbling. Their rich diet, tailored to each animal, provides energy to build fine fat instead of thick muscle. Cattle are fed 3 times daily, with the exception to gain around 2.5 pounds each day, the ideal rate for succulent Wagyu. Stress management is another critical aspect of their care. Activities that could potentially toughen the meat are avoided, while calming music, gentle brushing, and massages help enhance blood circulation and relax the muscles. The barns are designed to be calm and comfortable, ensuring a stress-free environment for the cattle. This stress-free existence allows marbling to develop without interference. Different fattening methods suit Wagyu of various ages. Young 10-month-old steers enter fattening farms where they are nurtured until slaughter at 28 months. Heifers follow one of 2 protocols, the old cow system or the virgin heifer method. In the old cow technique, cows bred with calving are fattened from age 6 to 8 years to 5 to 8 months. Each cow gets individualized attention to marble its meat before slaughter. The virgin heifer process involves gently fattening 20-month-old heifers for about 14 months to yield more tender beef. No matter the approach, each Wagyu is regarded as a treasure. Farm workers speak soothingly and touch them gently. The highest quality feeds are served. Soft brush massages ease muscle tension. This honor and care reflect the centuries-old tradition of respecting Wagyu as gifts from the land. In return, the cattle impart their excellence to the beef. Such rearing translates directly into the buttery richness of Wagyu. The marbling melts at the slightest heat, bathing the palate in velvety beef perfection. We savor Wagyu, we taste the patient dedication of farmers through every bite. What sets Wagyu apart from conventional beef? Well, a key difference between Wagyu and conventional beef is scale. Most beef comes from giant feedlots housing thousands of cattle. But in Japan, Wagyu farms are small, just 10 to 100 animals. This limited supply drives up the price. Another factor is marbling, the fine white fat woven within the red meat. Marbling greatly impacts flavor, texture, and juiciness, unlike external fat that's trimmed away. Highly marbled Wagyu has an incredibly rich, buttery taste and velvety texture, making it highly sought after. That marbling doesn't occur by chance. It results from Wagyu's genetics and precise rearing. Wagyu cattle accumulate fat more readily than other breeds. Their diet and care are tailored to encourage intramuscular fat development. Massages even distribute marbling. Low stress levels prevent fat loss. The result is succulent beef brimming with flavorful fat. When cooked, that marbling literally melts into the meat. It bastes each bite with its rich lipids. The meat stays tender and juicy rather than drying out. This gives Wagyu its signature melt-in-your-mouth sensation. Of course, improper cooking can ruin Wagyu's potential. The fat needs medium or rare doneness to melt properly. Overcooking makes the texture grainy and masks the complex flavors. Wagyu must be sliced across the grain to prevent chewiness. Such care and preparation honors the long pampering journey from farm to table. Marbling is crucial to Wagyu's excellence, so Japanese beef is graded on a 12-point beef marbling scale. The higher the BMS score, the more intramuscular fat and thus quality. A5 is the pinnacle. Extremely abundant marbling laces the beef in flavorful lipids. A5 Wagyu has a BMS score of 8 to 12. At this level, marbling accounts for over 25% of the meat. Just looking at A5 Wagyu reveals intricate webs of white fat flexing through the red beef. Next is A4 with a BMS of 6 to 7. While slightly less marbled than A5, A4 still has generous fat dispersed evenly. It delivers remarkably tender, succulent meat. A3 Wagyu rates 5 on the scale with moderately high marbling. Though not as luxe as A5 or A4, A3 remains indulgently rich and is an affordable way to enjoy Wagyu. Below A3, marbling decreases further but still elevates the beef over conventional types. A2 scores 4 on the BMS with medium marbling. It has noticeably more fat ribbons than typical beef. A1 Wagyu rates 3 on the scale, the minimum to qualify as Wagyu. It contains at least 21% intramuscular fat, surpassing standard breeds. No matter the grade, Wagyu beef contains heart-healthy omega fatty acids within its marbling. These nutrients get incorporated into the meat rather than trimmed off as waste, so diners get a flavor and health boost in one tasty package. When buying Wagyu, the BMS level predicts the eating experience. Higher scores like A5 guarantee supreme succulence and flavor intensity. Lower grades still deliver delicious Wagyu richness at friendlier prices. How do you best cook Wagyu? While marbling and breeding influence Wagyu's quality, the cooking method also dramatically impacts flavor and texture. Wagyu must be prepared carefully to allow its marbling to melt and baste the beef in rich juices. Grilling Wagyu is a flavored method for achieving a caramelized exterior while maintaining a tender, medium-rare interior. The intense heat from a grill sears the fat, unlocking a depth of flavor and imparting a subtle smoky taste, all while keeping the meat juicy. Pan searing in a cast iron skillet is another excellent option. The hot pan gives color and crunch while rendering the fat slowly. Resting the seared Wagyu allows juices to redistribute so each slice stays succulent. Searing concentrates the beefy flavor as the marbling infuses the meat. For those preferring a slower approach, low and slow cooking methods like braising transform Wagyu into fork-tender delights. Cuts suited for longer cooking, such as short ribs, become irresistibly rich and flavorful, with the collagen melting into a natural gravy that enriches the meat. Cooking techniques, whether fast and fiery or slow and gentle, play a pivotal role in delivering Wagyu's unmatched taste and texture. When prepared properly, Wagyu's exceptional genetics and pampered upbringing translate to unrivaled flavor and texture. Traditional Japanese techniques like yakiniku grilling and shabu shabu hot pot showcase Wagyu's qualities. But innovative Western approaches also excel at unleashing Wagyu's full potential. Sous vide, for instance, ensures Wagyu is cooked to precision, achieving an unparalleled tenderness by circulating the vacuum-sealed meat in a controlled temperature water bath. Similarly, slow roasting and braising intensify the flavors and tenderize tougher cuts, with the rendered fat acting as a luxurious gravy. Cooking Wagyu on a cedar plank is inspired for rich, smoky notes. The wood's aroma permeates the beef, adding complex flavor. Cast iron searing gives a gorgeous crust while keeping the interior moist and juicy. The right technique truly elevates great beef. Wagyu's versatility matches its excellence. Its richness can handle bold spices like Sichuan peppercorns or chilies. Global flavors from kimchi to chimichurri pair playfully with Wagyu. This beef was pampered to perfection. It deserves to be cooked and served with equal care. When Wagyu's preparation matches its pedigree, every bite delivers a sublime experience that justifies this meat's acclaim as the pinnacle of beef. Moreover, Wagyu's prized marbling is not only a delight when cooked, but also when rendered into tallow. This high-quality fat enhances the flavor of a variety of dishes, from roasted vegetables to fried foods, while offering nutritional benefits such as heart-healthy fatty acids. Wagyu tallow can also be used to make savory pie crusts, flaky biscuits, or soft shortbread. It creates bakery with a tender crumb yet rich taste. Hand-cut Wagyu fat fries are the ultimate indulgence. The beefy notes enhance the potato's flavor. Ground Wagyu transforms burgers and meatballs from mundane to exceptional. Just 20% Wagyu mixed into the grind adds moisture, richness, and flavor complexity impossible to replicate with plain beef. It's a simple way to make gourmet everyday food. Wagyu tallow and fat provide culinary magic, from searing fish to frying donuts. No part of this precious cow goes to waste. Why does Wagyu beef cost so much? Wagyu beef commands staggering prices thanks to numerous factors, from breeding and rearing to limited supply and import costs. Authentic Japanese Wagyu comes from a small number of specialty farms adhering to strict protocols. The intensive hands-on care and customized feeding required make production expensive, but it results in superbly marbled beef. Export bans also constrain supply, keeping Wagyu rarefied. Until recently, Japan prohibited Wagyu exports to preserve this national treasure. Even now, quotas limit how much beef can leave Japan. Scarcity increases demand. Importing Wagyu into foreign markets adds substantial expense as well. International shipping and special handling inflate costs. High import tariffs imposed once quotas are filled bump prices higher still for overseas consumers. But the biggest driver of Wagyu's price is branding and positioning. Wagyu commands a premium as a luxury product associated with fine dining and the wealthy. Top restaurants and hotels feature Wagyu on menus as the ultimate indulgence. This cements its reputation as an elite, aspirational protein. Yet Wagyu isn't just for the rich and famous. Consumers across income levels increasingly seek it out for special occasions or as an affordable splurge. Its cachet, rich taste, and perceived health benefits make Wagyu irresistible for many. For producers, the high prices Wagyu fetches justify the care and limited scale of production. And as long as demand grows, the expense remains worthwhile for consumers too. Wagyu's alluring taste and reputation ensure its continued success as a rare coveted treat. Whether celebrating a birthday or closing a big deal, Wagyu makes the moment memorable. Every supple, flavorful bite connects us to centuries of Japanese craft honoring these remarkable cows. That heritage and care translate directly to the unparalleled enjoyment of savoring Wagyu's perfection. Really enjoyed learning about Wagyu beef together? Smash that like button if you did, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more awesome stories. Oh, and ring that bell so you don't miss out on anything new. Got any thoughts or questions about Wagyu? I'd love to hear them. Just drop a comment below and let's get the conversation going. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.